Get this. Picture a party so big, it stills out of Cebu City, onto the beaches, and then, like, echoes around the world.
Wow.
That's the vision for Sinulog in 2025. Not just a festival, but get this, Sinulog sa Sugbo world.
I love it.
And before we, dive into how they plan to pull this off, I kind of want to make sure we're all on the same page about what makes Sinulog already so special. So imagine, like, vibrant street parades with dancers, and they're moving in this, like, wave-like way. It's not random. It's actually mimicking the flow of the Cebu River, all in devotion to the Santo Niño, the child Jesus.
Yeah, it's really a beautiful, beautiful celebration.
Oh, absolutely. We're lucky enough to be getting a sneak peek at their plans thanks to Festive Pinoy. And honestly, they've uncovered some seriously, seriously bold moves that they're going to be making.
Yeah, I was really impressed with, the level of detail and thought that they've put into this.
So, what really jumps out at me from Festive Pinoy is that this isn't just about adding a few more stages or inviting a couple more, international acts.
Right.
It's like a full-on transformation that they're going for, aiming for global recognition, but like also keeping the heart of Sinulog intact.
Yeah.
That's a tricky balance to strike, I feel like.
It is.
It really makes you wonder, can they achieve this, like, delicate balance? What could this mean for Cebu, not just in terms of tourism, but, like, for their culture as a whole?
It's a big undertaking.
Totally. So, all right, let's break down the specifics. Like, what are they actually changing? Festive Pinoy highlighted a ton of changes coming to Sinulog 2025. Which ones do you think will have the biggest impact, especially for, like, someone lucky enough to be there in person?
Well, for starters, the main venue is sticking with the South Road properties, or SRP as the locals call it.
Okay.
It's massive, which you definitely need with the crowd's Sinulog draws.
Right.
But, and this is big, they're tackling the complaints about the heat and lack of facilities head on.
Okay.
Think more shaded areas, better restrooms and amenities, even incorporating the SMC side arena.
Okay, that's huge. For anyone who's ever braved the, Cebu sun, which, let's be honest, can be intense even without a million people around you.
Oh, absolutely.
But the changes go beyond just, logistics, right?
Right, absolutely. One of the most, I think, dramatic shifts is this invitation for global participation.
They're reaching out to Cebu sister cities worldwide to join the Sinulog Grand Parade. So imagine, like, dance troupes from Seattle sharing the stage with performers from Yokohama, all celebrating Cebuano heritage.
Talk about, like, adding some spice to an already vibrant event, and knowing how colorful and lively Sinulog already is, I can only imagine how incredible it will be with that international flair.
Right.
And Festive Pinoy hinted at something else that kind of caught my eye, which is this emphasis on technology.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're going all out on that front.
Yeah, they are.
You're right. They're definitely not holding back. They're talking about a full-blown, high-tech spectacle with giant LED screens, immersive sound systems, and global live streaming.
Yeah. It's like they want to create an experience that's just as captivating for those watching online as it is for those lucky enough to be there in person.
Exactly.
All right, hold on, because this is where things get really interesting, at least for me. They're calling it the One Cebu Island concept. And it's not just Cebu City hosting this, like, massive party. It's the entire island getting in on the action. What are your thoughts on this, particularly the, like, implications of such a wide-reaching approach? That's what I find so fascinating about this whole thing. It almost speaks to, a larger trend that we're seeing of decentralized festivals. It's not just about finding a bigger field. It's about showcasing the heart and soul of the entire region.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Think about it. I mean, instead of just, like, experiencing Cebu City, visitors could find themselves, watching a traditional dance in a village square.
Right.
Or tasting, authentic cuisine from a, like, small coastal town.
Oh, wow.
It's a chance to really, immerse yourself in the diversity of Cebuano culture beyond just those typical tourist hotspots.
It kind of reminds me of this, like, incredible festival that I, like, stumbled upon in, like, a remote part of Italy a few years back. And it was small, maybe only like a few hundred locals, but the passion, the food, the, like, sheer joy of sharing their traditions, it was magical. And I can only imagine, like, the kind of impact one Cebu Island could have, both for, like, visitors, but then also for these smaller communities.
And that's precisely what makes this, concept so compelling. It has the potential to bring, significant economic benefits to these less visited areas. Imagine increased tourism, job creation, the opportunity for these communities to really like showcase their unique heritage
Right.
to a global audience.
Okay, I'm getting like caught up in the excitement, picturing myself like, wandering through these charming villages, soaking up the atmosphere. But let's get real for a second. Coordinating a festival of this scale across an entire island must come with its fair share of like logistical challenges.
You're absolutely right. Logistically, it's a huge undertaking. Can you imagine the coordination required between all those local governments?
Oh my gosh.
They'll need to handle everything from, transportation and accommodation to waste management and crowd control, all while ensuring a seamless and enjoyable experience for visitors.
It's almost like they're like building the plane while they're flying it. What do you say?
It certainly is. It certainly is.
Ambitious is an understatement.
And the challenges go beyond just logistics, right?
Right.
I mean, they also need to strike that delicate balance between preserving like the authenticity
Yes.
of Cebuano culture and creating an event that appeals to this global audience.
Right.
Too much commercialization and you risk losing like the heart and soul of Sinulog.
Sure.
Too little and it might not
Right.
resonate with those international visitors.
That's a tightrope walk for sure.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, for someone like me, someone who's now completely intrigued and thinking, I need to see this Sinulog 2025 for myself. What are the like biggest opportunities and like challenges that like I should be aware of?
Yeah.
What should I be most excited about? But also, what should I like go in with my eyes wide open to? Give it to us straight. What are like the potential rewards and what should I like pack in my mental preparation suitcase for?
Okay, well, let's start with the, exciting part, the opportunities. So first, imagine experiencing this like incredible fusion of traditional and modern Filipino culture,
Okay.
all amplified by the energy of these like international influences. You'll be right in the heart of it, surrounded by the music, the costumes, the dancing.
I'm getting chills just picturing it all. The energy alone must be unbelievable.
It really is something else. And, you'll be witnessing a city on the brink of something really, really special.
Right.
They're trying to bridge this like rich heritage with these global ambitions. And that in itself is just fascinating to see unfold.
Totally.
Maybe even like learn a thing or two about how other cities could, approach similar situations.
It's like being a fly on the wall for a cultural experiment. What could be better than experiencing that firsthand?
Exactly. And let's not forget about that one Cebu Island concept, right?
Right.
This isn't just a, city break. You have a chance to truly go off the beaten path.
Yeah.
Imagine discovering hidden waterfalls, trying like local delicacies in a village market, experiencing the warmth and hospitality of, the Cebuano people away from the crowds.
Right.
It's a chance to fall in love with a side of Cebu that most tourists, frankly, never get to see.
Okay, you've definitely sold me on the opportunities. Now, for that mental preparation suitcase, what, like, potential bumps in the road should I be aware of?
Well, let's be real. No event of this, like magnitude is without its challenges.
Right.
Crowds are going to be a big one. I mean, Sinulog already is a huge draw.
Yeah.
And with this, like added international interest, those numbers are going to, skyrocket.
I'm already picturing those packed streets. Good thing I don't mind a bit of a squeeze.
Exactly. And while they are putting, a lot of effort into improving the infrastructure, it's always wise to, I think, keep an open mind. It's one thing to, plan for larger crowds and facilities. It's another to see it all working smoothly in action.
That makes a lot of sense. And honestly, it's part of the adventure.
Right.
Like figuring things out, going with the flow.
That's the spirit. And lastly, it's always important to be mindful of, the environmental impact of events like this, right?
Yeah.
More people means more waste, more resources being used, a larger carbon footprint from all that travel. It's just something to, I think, consider as we, get swept up in the excitement.
For sure. Yeah. Being aware is definitely the first step toward like making conscious choices, I think,
Yep.
both as
Yeah.
travelers and as, global citizens.
Absolutely.
So we've covered the potential highs, the realistic challenges. What would you say to someone who at this point is like fully committed to experiencing Sinulog 2025?
I'd say do your research. Think about what aspects of the festival, resonate most with you and plan your trip accordingly. Maybe you want to volunteer at a community event, take a cooking class, or, simply immerse yourself in that like electric atmosphere of the parades.
Right.
Sinulog 2025 has something for everyone, but a little planning, honestly, goes a long way.
I love that. It's like that saying, the more you know, the more you see. And with Sinulog, there's so much to see and experience. It's more than just a festival. It's a celebration of faith, culture, and like the indomitable spirit of the Cebuano people. And it's a chance to, not only witness a city on the cusp of like global recognition, but then also like discover those like hidden gems and traditions that make Cebu so unique.
I couldn't agree more.
So if this deep dive has sparked your curiosity even a little, I really encourage you to do some exploring of your own. Festive Pinoy is a great place to start, but there's a whole world of information out there about Sinulog, Cebu, and Filipino culture in general. Who knows? Maybe we'll see you there in 2025, swept away in the energy of Sinulog's Susubo world. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.